Hi everyone, this is Siti Arshad Snyder. In this lecture, I am going to show you how to apply date functions in our SQL queries. The first date functions that I want to show you is the getDate function. The getDate function is basically going to return today's date in your query, and I am going to show you how to apply this particular function in a query. So here is my query. Basically, I wanted to see the list of courses that was offered more than 12 months ago. And the way that I have this query written is I want to pull class ID, class title, and end date of the class from the class table, and I want to join that with course because obviously the course title reside in the course table, so I have to do a join statement to pull course title, and I will use course ID as the common link between class and course. And in my where statement, I am going to use this function called date difference or date diff. Date diff is basically the difference between two dates. So, for example, if I want to calculate my age or an age of a patient, I would take today's date minus the birth date of that patient to get the uh, the age of that particular patient or person. So in this case, I used date diff, and this is a special function. So date diff, I want to specify that my result is going to be stated in months, and I want to see the difference between the date when the course ended and today. And get date here is basically going to automatically fill in almost like a blank, like a variable field that would automatically be populated with today's date. And that I want to see all courses that were offered more than 12 months ago. So if I execute this, I am going to get the class ID whatever, and this was Microsoft beginning. So you might be asking, what is the significance of this get date? Because technically I can put, oh, by the way, get date, this function has to be like get date with open parenthesis, close parenthesis. These must go together. I could also put, I'm going to move this down, X. Again, I put the two dashes, so this will no longer be considered in my query. So I'm just going to park it there for right now. So I can put this as whatever date, let's say 11/22/2016. So between these two dates, if the months, the number of months that has lapsed between these two dates is equal or greater than 12, I want the number or the list of courses brought back in my query result. So obviously it's going to do that. But let's say I change this to 2015. So then my query result is going to show less number of courses, because obviously as of 11/22/2015, there are only 4 courses that were 12 months after the end date. Okay, so I am going to put this date back and explain to you the importance or the significance of using this get date function. Now, let's say you have a report that you run every, let's say every week. Let's say you work in the accounts receivable department, and every week you want to see the list of accounts that are not yet collected. So let's say if the account is already 6 months old and no payment has been made, then you would want to print a list of those accounts so that you can make calls, you can do whatever. And if you type the regular dates as like I did earlier where I hard coded the dates in here. Every time you want to run this query, you will have to change the date because obviously the date today is not going to be the same as the date tomorrow. So to pull something that is up to date, this get date function is going to help you tremendously because you basically just tell the system to perform the calculation as of today's date and it will automatically do that. Another query that I would like to show you how to do is to how to group by your result by a portion of your date, for example, by year. As you recall, all the dates that were entered in the system or in your database is day, month, and date, or excuse me, month, day, and year format. So if you want to show your query results, say by year, you can use the year as a function to show your query results. So let's take a look at how we can do that. So here I have a query that will show the total amount of course fee as total cost for each year, and that comes from class and join course because obviously the course fee comes from the course table and class end date comes from the class table. So I want to show my result by grouping them by year, and so I will use this function year, and in parentheses I will specify where that year can be retrieved from. And basically the year is going to be retrieved from the end date data that reside in the class table. So if I execute this query, I will have the year because I have specified in my query that I want to see the total cost by year. Note here that it says no column name, so I'm going to change it. I don't like it when it says no column name like that, as year, and execute that, and it's going to change it to year and the total cost. And you can excuse me, change the position of your columns by just clicking on the top of your column and then move it over. Oops, there. So just move it over and you will have the year comes first and total cost. Either that or you can change the sequence or the order of your query result in your select statement. So if you do year as year and then sum, then it will come out to be like this. Okay, so that is by year. You can also do that by month, and for month, you will basically use month, and up here I also want to show it by month, and this one will say and if I execute that, it will show by month. Now the problem with this is that I don't know what year this month is. So for instance, this is December, but what year in December? So one way that I will know for sure is to another group by year so that I know exactly what year this month belong. And I can do year class dot and end date and put my close parenthesis, and I also want to show year in my result, so I will type in basically that, copy and paste it here and put my as year. Alright, so I'm going to move this down so we can see it a little bit better. And actually I'm going to move this one down too so we can read it a little bit easier. So my select statement has three outputs, sum, month, and year, and then I'll group them by month and year. So if I run this, I will have the months, the year, and the total cost. And of course, I want to change this over here. Oops. There. And month. So you have the year 2013. In February, the total cost was $2,500. In 2014, in June, it was $2,500. In July, it was $10,000, and so on. So these are some of the useful specific date functions that you should know how to use.